Do you know the story about the popular vehicle driven by millions of people daily around our planet? Did you know that those who created the first automobile later on started companies that together merged and became the luxurious car brand that today is known as Mercedes-Benz? Well, in this video, you'll find out how one man's vision became a reality used by millions around the world and how Mercedes-Benz was a part of it. 1834, Gottlieb Daimler. It's not the idea, it's the implementation that counts. On March 17, 1834, in Schondorf, a man named Gottlieb Daimler was born. After working in France and training as a gunsmith, Daimler attended the Polytechnic School in Stuttgart from 1857 to 1859. After completing many technical activities in France and England, he starts working as a draftsman in Geislingen in 1862. By the end of 1863, he gets the job as a workshop inspector in a machine tool factory in Reutlingen, and that's where he meets Wilhelm Maybach in 1865. Several years later, in 1872, Daimler becomes technical director of the gas engine manufacturer Deutsche Gasmotorenfabrik, and that's where he gets familiar with the Otto's four-stroke technology. After many differences with the managing director, Daimler leaves the company in 1882. He later sets up a development workshop in his greenhouse at his Cannstatt Via to concentrate on developing a petrol-driven four-stroke engine. He works with Wilhelm Maybach in 1884, and together they develop an internal combustion engine known today as the grandfather clock. Because the grandfather clock is compact and has a low-weight design, the machine forms the basis for installation in a vehicle. But sadly, the cost of trial operations consumes Daimler's entire fortune, forcing him to find business partners to carry his project forward. And in November 28, 1890, Daimler, together with Max Dottenhofer and Wilhelm Lorenz, founds Daimler Motoren Gesellschaft. But by taking in other people, a dispute occurs. Dottenhofer wants to produce stationary engines, but Daimler wants to focus on vehicle productions. In 1891, Wilhelm Maybach leaves the company due to unacceptable terms of contract, but keeps on building engines with Daimler. This makes Daimler full owner of all the patents. Later on, due to an increase in the tense relationship between Dottenhofer and Lorenz, Daimler is removed as shareholder in the company. When the finances of the company get worse and the technical development stagnates, Daimler Motoren Gesellschaft, also known as DMG, tries to get Maybach to return to the company. Wilhelm refuses to return without Daimler, and due to commercial pressures, both return back to the company. Daimler's engine gains popularity abroad thanks to Maybach's Phoenix engine, and a group of English industrials are ready to pay 350,000 marks to license the engine. Marks is the former currency used in Germany, and was removed in 1999 and replaced with euros. By then, 2 marks equaled about 1 euro. Later on, Maybach is appointed technical director of DMG, and Daimler gets a position on the technical board and becomes the inspector general of the supervisory board. The return of Daimler and Maybach gives the company an unexpected boost. They both enjoy the rapid development of the company. But sadly, Gottlieb Daimler dies because of a heart disease on March 6, 1900. 1844, Karl Benz. Love of invention will never die. In Karlsruhe on November 25, 1844, a boy named Karl Benz was born. His father died 2 years later, and despite living on limited finances, his mother ensured that he attended a proper grammar school and later studied mechanical engineering. Thanks to his brilliant mind, the young engineer advanced quickly from a locksmith to a designer and workshop foreman. Karl Benz joins forces with August Ritter, who was a mechanic, to found his first company, Karl Benz and August Ritter Engineering Workshop, in 1872. When Ritter starts acting as an unreliable partner, Karl Benz is forced to pay him using the dowry of his wife, Bertha Ringer, and starts running the company alone from 1878. Benz starts working intensely on a gas-driven 2-stroke engine to make his vision of a vehicle without horses come true. After many hard-working hours, Benz gets the engine to run for the first time in New Year's Eve 1879. He later founds the Gasmotorenfabrik Mannheim as a shareholding company in October 1882. Benz leaves the newly founded company in January 1883 to join forces with new business partners named Max Rose and Friedrich Wilhelm Esslinger. Together, they found the company Benz & CIE, Rheinische Gasmotorenfabrik Mannheim. The company launches the two-stroke system Benz engine. While Benz strives to implement his automotive vision, his business partners, Rose and Esslinger, are skeptical about the idea. This forces Benz to find new investors, and in May 1890, Julius Ganz and Friedrich von Fischer replace Rose and Esslinger. The combined business model of producing stationary and vehicle engines is a success, but Karl Benz wanted to spend all his time on vehicles and started the company Karl Benz Sonne, and if you translate that from German to English, it says Karl Benz and Sons. He starts the company in Ladenburg 1906. In 1912, Karl Benz resigns as managing director and transfers sole management control to his sons. As time passes, he witnesses the rise of motorization, and his vision of vehicles without horses slowly becomes true. In his last years, from 1926 to 1929, Benz remains active as a board member of the new Daimler-Benz AG company. The automobile pioneer spends his last days in his home in Ladenburg before passing away on April 4, 1929. 1846. Wilhelm Maybach, the king of designers. On the 9th of February 1846, a boy named Wilhelm Maybach was born in Heilbronn. At the age of 10, he became an orphan after both his parents died. He soon got adopted into the Reutlinger Bruderhaus in 1856, after friends of his family posted an ad in the Stuttgarter Anzeiger newspaper. During his school years at the Bruderhaus, Maybach first met Gottlieb Daimler while working at the machine shop in 1864. Maybach and Daimler both got jobs at Deutsche Gasmotorenfabrik and worked there together for a period of time. When internal problems occurred with Daimler at the company that they were working for, Daimler left, taking Maybach with him, and founded his own company, Daimler Motorengesellschaft, also known as DMG. Wilhelm was supposed to be the head designer for the company, but due to problems with the contractual terms, Wilhelm left DMG in February 1891. Daimler still wanted to work with Maybach and came up with a temporary solution. Daimler would pay Maybach in secret so that his friend could keep on working for him without people at the company knowing about it. Maybach, together with a small team, kept on working with Daimler's mobility concept in the Hotel Hermann in Cannstatt. Together, Maybach and his team developed significant design concepts, including the belt drive, the Phoenix engine, and the spray nozzle carburetor. These designs were used in the automobile industry for many decades to come. Gottlieb and Wilhelm were reinstated at DMG in November 1895, thanks to an English industrialist named Frederick Sims, who negotiated a substantial license for engines produced by DMG. Maybach's primary work task was to re-establish DMG's competitive capacity through technical innovation and reliable products. The most significant outcome of taking in Maybach to the company was the belt-driven car that he engineered with his team. The belt-driven car was the first automobile that DMG mass-produced. After the death of Max von Dottenhofer in August 1903, Maybach resigned from DMG in May 1907 due to the company gradually deteriorating. Maybach later on went into business with his sons and started to produce the legendary vehicles bearing his name, the Maybach. Wilhelm Maybach died in Cannstatt on December 29, 1929, at the age of 83. The automobile pioneer was buried next to his good old friend Gottlieb Daimler at the Kirchhof Cemetery. 1882. Engine development. The test workshop in Stuttgart-Cannstatt. After leaving Deutsche Gasmotorenfabrik in 1882, Daimler buys a villa in Cannstatt and immediately starts to upgrade the greenhouse on the property by adding an extension so he can create his personal testing workshop. The workshop is the ideal place where Daimler and Maybach continue their research. Daimler had a vision to create an engine that used petrol as its main fuel, and that could be used into all types of vehicles, operating on land, sea, or air. The crucial technology that was used to make this vision come true was discovered by Maybach after looking over extensive research made by an Englishman named Watson in one of his patents. The patent suggests the possibility of using an unregulated hot tube ignition system, an essential preparation for attaining higher speeds without needing lighter and more powerful engines. The first design that was developed in the Cannstatt testing workshop was an engine featuring unregulated hot tube ignition system, based on the four-stroke principle pioneered by Otto. Daimler later on patents the newly designed engine with the patent number DRP 28022. The first high-speed test engine is up and running by the end of 1883, delivering a speed of 600 RPM. The new engine easily surpasses the maximum speed limit of 120 through 180 RPM produced by previous engines, making this new engine the most powerful one. Daimler and Maybach go on to develop the renowned Daimler single-cylinder engine, referred to today as the grandfather clock, which was a key milestone in the automotive production history. 1883, Benz and CIE. The Rheinische Gasmotorenfabrik, renamed Benz and CIE in 1899, was founded in Mannheim by Karl Benz in October 1883, in collaboration with businessman Max Caspar Rose and the sole representative Friedrich Wilhelm Esslinger. The company rose to an immediate success, and the company's workforce rapidly increased to 25 employees. Due to rapidly growing demand for stationary engines, Benz and CIE is forced to move to a larger factory. While Karl Benz is working on the development of car engines, his business partners Rose and Esslinger are becoming increasingly more skeptical on the future for the company due to their lack of support for Karl's vision. In May 1890, Rose and Esslinger are replaced by Julius Ganz and Friedrich von Fischer. Later on, the company rapidly grows to become the second largest engine manufacturer in Germany, and the world's leading producer of automobiles up to the turn of the century. The economic breakthrough comes with the four-wheeled motorized velocipede, also known as the Velo, that was produced between 1894 and 1901. The lightweight, reasonably priced two-seater car is considered the first mass-produced automobile, with a production count of 1,200 units. Between the years of 1890 and 1899, the workforce drastically increased from 50 employees to 430, and a total of 572 vehicles are produced by Benz in the financial year 1899, rising to 603 in the following year. 1886, Benz patent motor car, the world's first automobile. Thanks to the success of Karl's gas engine factory, he has an economic basis, enabling him to fully devote his time on his vision of an engine-driven vehicle. Sadly, his two-stroke engine is too large and heavy to be installed into a vehicle, and Benz has to put all his efforts into the four-stroke principle that Daimler and Maybach used. Although his engine reached a speed of only 400 RPM, and therefore made it less efficient than Daimler's engine, which could go up to 600 RPM, it already provided the necessary power to drive a vehicle without horses. Instead of putting his engine in an existing vehicle, he designs his own with 3 wheels because he is unhappy with the single pivot steering used in carriages at the time. Testings for the new vehicle begins in October 1885, and on January 29, 1886, Karl Benz submits a patent for his vehicle with gas engine operation to the Imperial Patent Office. The patent with the patent number DRP 37435 is recognized today as the birth certificate of the automobile and bears the name Patent Motorwagen. It's the world's first automobile. 1901, the first Mercedes. Sadly, Daimler never has the chance to witness one of the most outstanding designs made by Wilhelm Maybach and produced by their joint company. The first Mercedes generated great excitement at the Nice Race Week in March 1901. The outstanding vehicle was both powerful and lightweight, with a low center of gravity, and stood out from all previous cars that were made. The 35-horsepower Mercedes had an independent automobile design, and the development of this pioneering design, which was considered to be the first modern automobile, is not only attributed to the man who designed it, but also to the initiative of Emil Jelinek. Emil was a businessman and automobile enthusiast who bought his first Daimler car in 1897, and from then demanded more powerful and faster vehicles from Maybach and DMG. With many spectacular racing victories and impressive sales success, Mercedes vehicles rise into a new era. 1909, the three-pointed star on all routes. From September 1902, DMG holds the patent for the successful brand name Mercedes, but they still miss something, a characteristic trademark symbol. That's when the sons of Gottlieb Daimler, Paul and Adolf, Remember that their father used a star as a symbol, and that's when the DMG Board of Management on June 1909 registers both a 3-pointed and a 4-pointed star as trademarks. Both logos are legally protected, but it's the 3-pointed star that is used, and a 3-dimensional star adorns the front radiator of all vehicles from 1910 and onwards. When DMG and Benz and CIE emerged in June 1926, a new brand name is created, which combined the essential elements of the previous emblems. The world-famous 3-pointed star of the Daimler Motorengesellschaft is framed with the brand name Mercedes, as well as with the celebrated brand name Benz, and both words create the legendary name Mercedes-Benz that we all are so familiar with. 1926, Daimler-Benz AG, the merge. After the First World War, the economy in Germany is badly affected, and that brings in poor sales figures, especially for luxury goods such as passenger cars. Only strong brands marketed by financially stable companies were able to survive, and many businesses were forced into mergers or partnerships. Competitors for many years, DMG and Benz and CIE entered into a joint venture in May 1924, but they still focused on remaining competitive through coordinated designs, production techniques, purchasing strategies, sales and advertisements. The joint marketing activities of the Mercedes and Benz brands are initially handled by the newly founded Mercedes-Benz Automobile GmbH. The fusion of DMG and Benz and CIE, the two oldest automotive manufacturers in the world, takes place in June 1926, when Daimler-Benz AG is established. In 1998, Daimler-Benz AG and Chrysler Corporation announced the world's largest cross-border deal ever, valued at US $38 billion, and the resulting change in the company name to Daimler Chrysler AG, and in 2007, when the Chrysler Group was sold off to Cerberus Capital Management, the name of the parent company was simply changed to Daimler AG. And now you know the story about the first automobile company and how Mercedes-Benz rose to be the luxurious car brand that it is today. We hope that you found this video interesting, and if you liked it and enjoyed our content, please subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our new videos. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter so that you can get an insight on how we make our videos. Links are down at the description, and feel free to donate to us on Patreon to support our work. Thanks for watching!
Si tu trouves ça intelligent de mourir sous, je te jure, ça fera bonne impression en ville. Tu sais ce qu'on dira?
Mourir sous, c'est mourir debout et je me fous des racontars. L'histoire jugera, madame.